Oh no.
Let's see.
Maybe for your leash. Yeah.
Who
Right
else do
there.
we want to pop on this bad
Glad it can
boy?
help. Very good. I feel like there was supposed to be a bolt. There was a bolt here at some point. That's unfortunate. I wasn't the one who lost it, so that's fine.
Uh-oh. That's always
Yeah,
scary.
it's just this little trim piece. So, I mean, whatever.
You're the one that just has
I
to
would
deal with it
probably
if it's
never
not
have
there.
noticed it otherwise. There's fucking chill. You could. We've got. All right.
All right, I'm going to kick this puppy off. We've got some people popping over here in a
I
little
think
bit, so I
I'm
want to make
good
sure we
for
get
right
this thing
now.
knocked out here.
Um,
Before I start, do you have any questions,
yeah.
Noah? Anything that I can help you out with in
I'm
particular?
enjoying the golf related workouts. They make a lot of sense. Yeah. Oh, I do want to
Hell yeah.
mention next week,
Yeah,
Friday.
and it's minimal equipment
Actually
style, super
Thursday,
good.
Friday,
I had
Saturday,
a lot of
Sunday,
fun making that
Monday. I'm gonna
program,
be out of
so
town and I don't know if I'll have equipment. So I guess just next week, Friday and Monday. I don't even know if I'll be able to work out Monday. I'll be traveling. I'm going to Colorado. Gonna go visit my sister. She's running the 50K and gonna go spectate that.
where are you going, Jake, from State
Go
Farm?
visit a bunch of cronies out there.
There's nothing more fun than watching people run 30 some odd miles. Let me tell you what.
The 10th through the 14th.
Tell you what. Tell me those dates one more time. I'm gonna add a note in here so I don't forget. Okay. Cool.
Grand Junction.
Cool,
Hey,
cool.
that's where I
10th through
went
the
to school.
14th,
That's not the
ripping it out,
Foonies.
man. To Denver, where you headed in Colorado?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like almost right on the
Grand
border.
Junction. That's in the boonies, dude. That's like west, right? West Colorado?
No, there's not.
Yeah. We drove through there when we did the cross country drive,
But it
and
is
Chelsea moved
absolutely
out to
beautiful.
California. It was there's not a lot going on out there, dude. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
she's been living out there, so at least
Yeah.
that part shouldn't be too big of an
It
issue.
is. It is. Dude, the elevation would be tough. I feel like that'd make it hard to run a
Yeah.
50K, but yeah, she's acclimated. Altitude acclimated. Cool. All right, man. I'm gonna rip through just a quick little discussion about something that I kind of read about the other day that I wanted everybody to kind of have, and I'm gonna send out like a little form, I guess, to everybody as well, in addition to the call here, so that people've got it. But essentially it's about this like concept that is referred to as the gap and the gain. We'll make this into a little, soundbite or whatever, send it off. But essentially what the gap and the gain is it's basically like the I like to think of it as the one person who's incredibly driven to succeed and doesn't really stop to take a second to look at what they've accomplished. And that kind of leads to frustration and burnout. You're kind of focusing on what you're missing instead of what you're attaining. In health, like say like you're trying to gain 10 pounds and you're like, oh, I've only gained 2 pounds, and stopped eating fast food as opposed to kind of reaching your goal. It can be really frustrating and lead to a lot of negative self-talk. I've been definitely unfortunately been somebody who's a victim of that before, kind of getting frustrated and having kind of big aspirational goals and then not being able to kind of sit back and smell the roses a bit before I kind of continue on the path that I'm on. And then the other, we'll call antithesis that is going to be the gain, and that's going to be like some progress and perspective. So this is like, hey, you're reflecting on where you are, how far you've come. You're able to kind of build momentum, kind of stack some habits and really protect your mindset, your motivation, and all those kinds of things. So, like, hey, maybe the day that you're like supposed to train, you're kind of feeling awful or shitty. You end up not being able to train because it just wasn't in the cards, but you're able to kind of focus on the win that you did have, which was like, hey, my nutrition's been really dialed in and I've been able to continue to drink, X amount of glasses of water a day if that was part of your goal. Those types of things can be super, super helpful. So we talk about like, hey, health in this grand scheme of things is like a long game. If you think about it in a short game, you're probably going to lose. So it's about like, how do you stay focused throughout that long game, make something sustainable so that you can continually make progress and you almost like fall in love with the game and not really care what the score is. And that's kind of the way that we want to go. So a couple of ways that you can kind of think about it and ways that we've kind of started to implement things like this in various client discussions is like, hey, what is a win that you've had in the week? What are some things that you're proud of yourself for doing, whether that's in the last 7 days, 30 days. And then, big or small, how does that win kind of affecting you and affecting your mindset overall? And I'll say like, there's a lot of people that we work with now and myself included who've been kind of turned off or deterred from having a tough week of training or maybe an injury or something like that you're fighting back from. But at the end of the day, if you're able to kind of sit back, think about where you started and where you kind of are now, it can be really refreshing. And I kind of want to go through, I'm going to, again, send this sheet out and maybe I'll just do it live here too. But I'm going to kind of go through like the form that we kind of made that I plan to kind of send out to everybody. And then we can kind of talk about like, hey, what is the reason that we're going to go through it? And then my practical application for my own health and wellness that I'll kind of hit. So let me pull this image up really quick and then we'll kind of go through it. Let's see. I wonder if I can share my screen. I feel like I probably can. Yeah, share screen. Let's do this image here. Cool. So I don't know if you can see this, Noah. I'm going to kind of talk through it on here too, but essentially this is kind of what we're talking about, like the gap and the gain. And what that's going to be is going to be like, hey, so you've got this gap, you've got an ideal that you haven't really reached yet. So let's say that's your goal for you particularly, Noah, and I guess I'll go through one for me as well. It would be like, hey, you're trying to gain weight. For me, let's say I'm trying to, I don't know, run a sub 6 minute mile and then be in the 1,000-pound club. Let's say that's my goal because I know Arjun is working towards that. The gain is like, hey, how have you progressed towards that goal? So, maybe you haven't put on 10 pounds of muscle weight, but you've put on 2. Maybe you can't lift 1,000 pounds yet, but you can lift 800 and you used to only be able to lift 6 between the 3 big lifts. Maybe your minute mile or your 10-minute mile is now an 8-minute mile. But if you're able to like beat yourself up or continue to beat yourself up for where you're at, you're not going to really be able to wake up, smell the roses, and see kind of how far you've come. So think about like, hey, 3 specific ways that you've improved or achieved a goal, some positive effects of your progress on your health, and then, how do you take the next step towards what the ideal, i.e., goal would be? So real quick, I'm going to go through like my own kind of example, and I'll call it. And for me, it's been recently the business, I would say, is probably something that the gap and the gain is definitely like resonating with me. So, ideal for the gap is like, hey, I really want to help as many people as we can. And I had a pretty, we'll say, like aggressive goal at the beginning of the year that I wanted to help 100 people. It could be 100 people in passing. It could be 100 people in our community. It could be 100 people in a, even if it's just like a hi bye or a quick discussion of health, like that was kind of my goal. And I have not reached that 100-person mark yet. And it's, 4 months or 3-ish months down from the year. And I'm probably not quite at that, we'll call 33 percentile mark for the year as well. But what I can say is the gain for the progress towards the idea is like, hey, we've made a ton of strides in the world of coaching. I've gotten smarter, more capable, and I think that I'm able to really present ideas in a clear, manageable way, and then be able to help people out along the way too. And the people that are resonating with that are really starting to be attracted to what we have going on. So I'm proud of myself for that, and I'm proud about where we've started and now where we are. It's still kind of pretty surreal to see your face on a coaching app that you can download from the App Store. It's pretty nuts. Because I definitely don't have life figured out, that's for sure. So I'm curious, Noah, if you're here, and Allie just popped on too, like, hey, is there anything like you can think of? It doesn't necessarily have to be health and wellness related, but like that kind of relates to this concept of like,
for the
hey,
health and
where you
wellness
are,
part,
where
I
you want
would
to go,
almost
and then
say I'm in
taking a
the
second to
opposite
like
boat where I'm
almost
sitting
like give
smelling the
yourself some
roses a
props
little
for
too
how
long.
far you've come.
But in another facet in life, this motorcycle that I just bought, through the whole process, this is the end of it, thankfully. But through the whole process, it was very much I don't think I'm ever gonna get there. I don't think I'm ever gonna get there. This is just a pipe dream, and it's never gonna happen. And so it's cool to see it now all come to fruition in that sense.
Yeah, did you think that that was like part of the gap, and then how did you, I guess, how did you start to attain that goal? Like, let's drill into that just a little bit to like, hey, were you really strict with your savings and from a money
Yeah.
standpoint? Were you changing your approach to be able to kind of like
It was really
find it?
honing
My
down on a
my pops
budget
is
and,
huge on
and
like
putting a
Quest,
plan
where
in
he's like
place. Because
surfing
for the
YouTube
longest
or
time, it
excuse
was
me,
like, oh,
Facebook
I'll just kind
Marketplace
of
all the
put money
time.
away, and then
Like,
when it
what'd you end
happens,
up
it
doing?
happens. And push came to shove, and I decided to make it a priority, and really sat down and figured out what I could afford and what I couldn't afford, and kind of restructured some priorities here and there to figure out what what was worth it and what wasn't.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Allie? Are you in the worlds of health and wellness? And I know that you're. I don't hope that you're there. I think that you are. Do you feel like there's something like that that resonates with you to where this kind of concept comes into play?
Hi. Yeah, sorry. We were finishing up our day, so it's been a little bit busy. Um, uh, I'm so sorry. So I know we were sharing, kind of about health and wellness and how it, is resonating with our lives and what that kind of looks like for us. Is that kind of the gist that I got from it since
Yeah,
I've joined?
if you pop on your screen right now, you should be able to see this kind of form that I shared, and real
Okay.
like
Yes.
brief is just like, hey, you're trying to aspire to do X, Y, or Z goal. It could be financial, it could be health and wellness related, whatever. Lose 10 pounds, but
Okay.
that's like, hey, have you reached your goal yet? Maybe, maybe not. And then
Okay.
the reality is like, hey, taking a second to look at kind of how far you've come, and how much your life has changed along the way is really, really effective. So thinking about ways that you've kind of moved the needle, and then taking a second to appreciate that.
Okay. No. Okay. Yes. Looking at that now. So, I guess some ways that I've improved or achieved my goal is I've turned this into, like a way of life for me, when in the past it was just, well, let me see if I can, knock out a quick workout, maybe once or twice a week. But, now I've made a commitment to myself, to make it a priority and to prioritize it in my daily routine, to where I'm, consistently being consistent, I guess, and, getting the workout in, even if it's, a quick one. At least I'm doing something, I'm moving, I'm feeling good about that movement. Um, and I have noticed, continual results in my overall strength, and, my mental health has significantly improved. I think that's probably one of the biggest goals, I think that I've achieved. And, just I feel healthier. So, I mean, obviously that's a big plus. And I guess that's also includes the positive effects, I guess, on my overall health and wellness. A wonderful de-stressor for me, because I find myself stressed very easily. And I guess, the next step that I'm ready to take, I guess, toward my ideal, goal is, I guess, just continuing that, commitment to myself, and, still showing up for myself, and, getting it done. And now that I'm in school as well, I'm gaining knowledge and more understanding into the field of health and wellness, and I've already learned so much and gained so much knowledge from that. So I guess just continued, learning for me as well through my schooling. So that's I guess, the next step.
For sure. Yeah. Super cool. And it's cool too that you're able to kind of take something like that and shift priorities, and it becomes like you said before, you start to become a different person, which is really what we're trying to do, to instill some, new values, and really change people on a foundational level, which is, it's very hard and it takes a lot of time, but, it's super effective. And you've been crushing it, dude, for months. Actually, both of you guys, your level of consistency has been awesome, seeing kind of where we started to where we're going. I think too, like we talk a lot about, I harp on you guys and check-ins and via like messages back and forth as well, about like, hey, make sure that you're taking progress photos, make sure that you're documenting, something, whether that's the weights that you're using in a set, or, how much effort you're giving. And really what that does, it allows you to take a step back and then be like, okay, when I used to run at this pace, this is how hard it was. And today, I might not have been 100%, but my 100% 3 months ago became like my 80% today. And that's really, really effective for you to sit back and think about, as you kind of progress on a health and wellness journey, for sure. Sweet. Allie, is there anything we can kind of ex-nay the chat on this little sheet here for now, with you guys in here? Allie, is there anything that we can kind of help you with, or you want to chat through, or anything like that? I know that we chatted with Noah a little bit before you popped on, but I want to make sure that we hit any of the things that you're kind of working on, struggling with. Maybe share some wins with us over the course of the last couple weeks.
I think honestly, just, I guess, that we're moving pretty soon. So I think just,
Big
um,
dub.
I guess just staying, being, I guess I guess everyone, I guess here can be my accountability buddy, because I guess I'm going to need a little extra push and motivation, just because, we kind of have a pretty tight schedule here coming up. So I'm just trying to balance everything, with school now too. So I guess I'm still trying to figure out a good system for myself. So I guess just good accountability. I always do well with that. And I think my another thing that I guess I'm struggling with is just, um, body positivity. I'm still, learning the ropes with speaking, I guess, highly of myself, and just filling my mind with positive thoughts. I guess what's something helpful, I guess, that anyone, if have been through it, that seems to help you, I guess, with body positivity and speaking proudly about
I
yourself to
mean,
kind of encourage
yeah,
that
I kind of in the
self-esteem
same
for
boat of body
yourself.
positivity. It definitely can be
Go ahead,
a
Noah. Hit it if you
downer
got something,
at
dude.
some points. Kind of, I wouldn't say demoralizing, but for me, it at least makes it harder. Um, just in the sense where sometimes it feels like I'm never gonna get there, that sort of thing. So it makes it hard to continue to move on. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm starting to get over that a little bit, and and am seeing the benefits. I know I can feel them. That's for sure. So just continuing almost just to push through the negative thoughts and know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
You know what I mean?
Very helpful.
Why was the question?
Thank you.
What I guess my question for both of you guys that I immediately think of is like, what do you turn to? Like, hey, you're in this like, we'll call like body positivity rut, and you're like, fixated on things that you don't like or progress that you haven't made. What's kind of your first turn when it comes to like, hey, the mentality that you take, the people you talk to, the self-talk you have, like what's
I'm
kind of your
thinking.
fallback for the first step for each of you?
Noah, did you want to go first, or did you want me to go first? Okay. Um, I actually am a huge writer. I mean, I've been writing probably since middle school. I just enjoy it. It's just my favorite way to express myself. I just feel like words pour out a little bit easier on paper than just expressing it. So I seem to kind of write down like negative thoughts, so I can kind of analyze it a little bit better. I guess that's the psychology nerd in me too. And so I kind of use that, and I just try and replace them with different words that I can use to uplift myself, So um, surprisingly, it seems to work because it's almost like I'm rewiring my mind to think in a different way instead of a way that I've always thought about myself. Um, and actually, yoga has been extremely helpful because it's all about trying to find a good mental and internal peace. And so that's very uplifting as well. It also helps
I
kind
mean,
of
for me
clear your
is
mind and
I'm very much a
pour in a little
creature
bit
of
more
habit.
positivity into it. That's
So
just what's worked for me, I guess.
doing similar things every day and doing my best to find the little improvements in strength. So I think the biggest example for myself is, I mean, I play hockey every Sunday nights, and there's some people that are faster than me, and as I'm getting stronger, I can tell I'm keeping up with them a little better, and have actually caught some people that were faster than me, and then I am now faster than. So just kind of just taking a step back and looking at that, and then that kind of helps me to refocus a little bit and recognize that not only have I just gotten stronger in my legs, oh yeah, I noticed that I'm a little stronger with my arms, I noticed I'm a little stronger with my core, that sort of thing.
Go ahead, honey.
Well, you can comment on what he said.
No, those are all super good. Allie, I like that you're like, I think we don't really talk a ton about the emotion shame, but I think it's like a really good thing to kind of hit on is like when you like withhold and like hold in feelings of shame or self-doubt or any of those things, you almost like give those emotions a lot of more power over you. And the second that you like talk about it or you bring it to light, it almost feels like you relieve all of that pressure off of you. So I would definitely encourage, like, hey, one, talk about it. Two, you're definitely not alone. And then three, if writing really helps you, think about like, hey, if you write this thought down and you're like, hey, would I say this to somebody I know, love, and care about? And if the answer to that is no, then why say it to yourself? Why put yourself through that if that's not something that you would do for somebody else? And then in contrast to that, Noah, like taking back and looking at the metrics that of success that you've had and the success that you've built over the past, couple months is super cool. Like being able to like, hey, I know Joe used to skate past me, but now I'm skating past Joe is like really, really awesome. And it's cool to see like, hey, you're seeing an effect of your persistence, not only training. We talked a lot about the nutritional piece of the pie as well, and that being able to help kind of push over the edge too. So from a performance perspective and a mindset perspective, you can kind of start to play off of both of those things and then even bring them together to really start to have the positive effect. Go ahead, honey.
Well, you stole mine.
Go ahead. You can still talk. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I heard in a podcast one time that was like, if you catch yourself talking to yourself awfully, and like you wouldn't talk to your best friend like that, and you wouldn't give your best friend that advice, you should take a second and realize why you're talking to yourself like that. Because if Blaise just said, if you wouldn't tell your loved ones or your best friend any of the things you're telling yourself, why would you tell yourself those things? That and to celebrate the little wins. Noah, I'm in your boat too. I'm trying to gain weight and gain muscle. And I've noticed like little things, like I tried on shorts recently that they didn't fit from last year. And I was like, hell yeah, that's like a little win that I don't notice every day because I don't look in the mirror all day long, and Blaise is with me every single day. So he doesn't notice like a drastic change because it's like slow. But it's like little things like that that I have to remind myself to
Absolutely.
celebrate every once in a while when I like do notice them. And it makes your self-talk like a little bit better, like when you consistently start doing that. But yeah, that was my 2 cents.
And I'm not sure, it sounds a little bit woo-woo, and I'll leave you guys with this like little note. There's like clinical psychology and studies and honestly people that I know directly in the health and wellness space that they force clients to take sticky notes and put them on their mirror of their bathroom that say like, I am beautiful, I am, whatever adjective you'd like, strong, capable, whatever, and they like make them read them off every single morning before they even start their day. You'd be amazed, like this, you start doing those things, you start like writing those things down, saying them out loud. It's almost like the fake it till you make it mentality, to where eventually it like becomes who you are. And when you can change yourself and who you are and who you identify as with a powerful statement, like an I am statement, it really, really starts to change your psychology inside out, and then where you kind of go from there. So something to kind of chew on. I'm not going to force anybody to do that here, but I totally would encourage you to, if you want to. I'll even do it with you. I'll throw some sticky notes up in our bathroom and read them off in the morning. If you guys are into it, I'm into it too.
Blaise, it's Jess. Can you guys hear me?
Sticky note. Cool, you guys. I don't have a whole lot else. I'm going to post this recording up here at some point today or tomorrow, or Chelsea might do it. But thanks for popping on. Let me know, as always, if you have any questions. No, I've got your notes for April 10th to 14th. We'll get your program in there. I know that your movement days might be a little bit weird, so shoot me a text or send me a message in the app if you have any changes there. And then Allie, for you, I think as things start to get hectic with the move, just make sure that you're not trying to bite off more than you can chew, Commit to your little daily movement, and then give yourself the grace and the win when you do accomplish that. And then if for some reason you don't, because you're a mom of 3 and you're moving cross country in the next couple months, I think that is something that's totally okay too.
Cool. Pete.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
For sure. All right, you guys, we'll chat soon. See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye.